Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Dan, and I'm here to talk about pop culture. Specifically today, comic books. Why today? Because it's Wednesday, and Wednesdays are new comic book days. So every Wednesday, they send them out to the comic stores, and they're also available on digital. I prefer physicals because nothing's more fun than opening a magazine book, looking at cool pictures and artwork and stuff and holding it. It's cool, but if the comic store doesn't have it or if it's sold out, then I get digital. I'll make another video in the future about the advantages and disadvantages to each digital and physical, but for now, that's not what this video is about. That's not what this video is different. Yeah. So the first comic I got today was Green Lantern #1. I was actually really excited about this. I've been waiting for it for a while because I first was exposed to the Green Lantern world when I read the New 52 volume of Supergirl, where she becomes a Red Lantern. Ever since then, I've always been Lantern curious on the universe and the world that Green Lantern's in. And then the movie with Ryan Reynolds was kind of like, it didn't get good reviews, but I thought it was cool. Like just the concept of the story and stuff. And when I read through this, it was actually really good. Everything I thought it would be. Some of you may have noticed I added a couple Funko Pop vinyl figures there. I had a blank spot in my background. I had to cut it. It was just making me nervous. So back to Green Lantern 1. The artwork's really cool. When I was a real little kid, I had purchased in the 25-cent bin these King Kong comic books. I don't remember who drew them, what publisher had them out, but the artwork reminds me of that. It's really good, and it's kind of like, I don't want to say old school because I don't know what old school actually means to different people, but like when I say old school, some people might be thinking like Golden Age or Silver Age or 90s. You know what I mean? Like what does that mean? I don't know. So the artwork's really good. The story is really good. It leaves off on a really cool. Oh yeah, I have to add spoilers. I'll edit that. So it's pretty good. It's pretty interesting. It's really cool. I'm definitely going to follow this series, and I might even start looking into some of the older Lantern books, like because it's actually really cool. He's not my favorite superhero, but I mean he's made it from heroes that I'll read to heroes that I actually like. It's like good stuff. It's a good book. Good book right here. Good book. Okay. I bought 7 comics today. That was my first one. The second one I got is another #1. It's Typhoid Fever by the X-Men. Now this is a really cool comic. The artwork looks pretty good. It kind of reminds me of something you'd see on the back of like Pop-Tarts or something. But I mean that in a good way. It's not like a bad. It's just kind of cartoony. It's kind of cool. It's a really cool character. The X-Men has Bishop, Jean, Storm, Iceman, and Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler has a beard. So do I. And it's a really cool take. He's really funny in this. And then it's about the girl, Mary Walker. I forgot her name. That's how bad I am. Mary Walker is known as, she's kind of has different personalities and stuff. And she has good personalities, and she has bad personalities, and then she has somewhere in between personalities. And she has pyrokinetic energy where she can set things on fire with her mind, and she also has telekinesis like Jean Grey. Now, it's a really good comic. It's really cool. It's I really enjoyed it. It goes, Spider-Man's even in it for a second. Like she like possesses people and stuff, and I thought it was really funny. I don't want to summarize them too much because I want you guys to like kind of explore them. It's almost like a recommendation, but there is a little bit of spoilers in this video. But yeah, this was good. Typhoid Fever X-Men. number 1. The third comic I got was The Dreaming. It's in the Sandman universe by Vertigo. Vertigo it never misses, in my opinion. I've read the entire Sandman series by Neil Gaiman and the Prelude, the new one that he just recently made, and those were good. This one isn't written by Neil Gaiman, The Dreaming, but it's the world that Neil Gaiman created, so it's pretty cool. This was pretty interesting. One of the things that I don't like about this is that this is number 3, The Dreaming number 3. One of the things I don't like about it is how short it is. I almost want to not buy these issues until they get the collected graphic novel version, like the hardbound one, because I want to read the whole deal. I hate reading like part of a Vertigo book and then having to wait a whole month to see what happens next. It's not that it's bad, it's just that it leaves you... They're written more like novels and less like comic books. There's not a lot of action necessarily. It's not like superhero action. It's more like a novel, like if you're reading a novel, but it happens to be a graphic novel. So this is really good. I didn't get the first 2 issues, but it's not hard to pick up what they're talking about because I am exposed to the Sandman universe. If you've never read the Sandman Neil Gaiman, you would have no idea what's going on in this. I actually I'll make another video about Neil Gaiman's Sandman, but like read that if you want to get into this because it's the intro. So all right, that was my third comic. Okay, now this one here, X-23 number 6. I didn't get the first 5 of these, but I saw it and I'm a big X. She's my 3rd favorite superhero. I'll do a whole nother video about who my favorite superheroes are, but she's my 3rd favorite, along with Wolverine. Her and him are tied at 3. And I saw the cover and I was like, well, even though it's number 6 and I don't know what's going on in the story, I'm going to get it anyway because I love X-23. And this is a good comic here. It's really lighthearted and really poppy and fun. And it's kind of weird because I'm used to reading like the dark like versions of X-23. Here, let me get them real quick. Like right here, this X-23 where it's like really dark and she's like a test subject and they make her a weapon. They use her as a weapon and they even have her like do like really bad stuff. It's like really dark and kind of sad in some areas. But then I read this and I was like, this is like a cartoon, like a fun cartoon. That being said, I enjoyed it and I liked it, but it's a totally different atmosphere than the where she started. But I guess it's good to see her in fun, happier stuff because like she got shitted on throughout her whole comic run. So it's good to see that they're making it more lighthearted for her sake. Alright, let me put the X-23. So that's X-23. And then this one. I didn't even know this was coming out. I just went to the comic store and I saw it today. And I was like, I have to get it. It's Ian Fleming's James Bond 007 number 1. Okay, now the thing about this comic is it's really good and it's really interesting, but it's only it's only a few pages. Not a few. It's more like 10 pages. The back 10 pages is advertisements, and it's really interesting and it's really intriguing. But it kind of like the Dreaming and the Sandman one in the Sandman universe. It kind of leaves me hanging. Like now I have to wait a month to read the next part. It's like picture this, like you're watching a James Bond movie in the theater and you get this really cool action-packed first scene, and then it says, instead of the credits coming up to start the movie, the credits roll that ends it and says to be continued, and you have to wait a year to see another 15 minutes of it. That's why I'm mad about this comic. I'm not mad because it sucks or it was good. The artwork's good. The writing is fantastic, but it's like now I gotta wait a month to see what happens. I guess that's kind of like a strategy they do for sales. It worked. I'm definitely gonna get the next one, but I'm not happy about waiting. I guess I gotta be patient. I guess we all do. In the world of comics, you gotta be patient. Yes. And then another one I got was Asgardians of the Galaxy 3. And you see what I did there? Asgardians. Whatever. This is a really good series so far. I have the other two. I got the first one on digital, the second one and third one physical. And it's really cool. I originally got this because of Throg. Oh, he's not on there. Thor as a frog. A frog picks up a piece of Thor's hammer and becomes the Frog of Thunder. That's why I got this series, because Throg is in this. And so is Brunhilde, who's Valkyrie, who's one of my favorites. This is a really good comic. It looks like the main, maybe not the main bad guy, but the main focus right now is Nebula. She's kind of like Nebula from Gamora's sister, Thanos' daughter, one of his daughters. She's kind of like the bad guy trying to start Ragnarok by summoning this ship that has all these undead gods in them. And she's trying to take over the world. And then the other bad guy is Kid Loki, who's like trying to get it for himself so he could start it, because he wants to be the leader of the universe or God or whatever the heck he's trying to do. But like basically, it's a really cool comic. It reminds me of Guardians of the Galaxy movies, really. It's it's a tie-in to the Infinity Wars event, which I have not been collecting all of. I'm more into the Spider-Geddon right now. But this is really interesting, and it's also turned me on to the idea that I should probably get the Infinity Wars event, because it's really pretty interesting. So, and then here I saved the best for last, Spider-Geddon number 3. Now, I've always been a comic reader, and I've always been a fan of comic books my entire life. But I haven't really been starting to get the current issues only for about a few months now. I always end up getting like graphic novel versions right here. Like graphic novel versions in the collections. I never really stayed current. I always waited until it became like a hardback or a paperback graphic novel. But I started getting the Spider-Geddon event and all the tie-ins, which I currently have. I'm up to date. This is the latest one, Spider-Geddon 3. I have them all so far. And it's a really interesting story. One of my favorite superheroes, probably my second favorite, would be Spider-Gwen. I have a Spider-Gwen shelf right here. And it's really cool because like there's just like all these different Spider-Man. It takes place after like the Spider-Verse and all that, how there's like Spider-Man in every galaxy, or not galaxy, that dimension. And like they have different Spider-Man. Like there's a pig named Peter Porker, and he gets bit by a spider and he becomes a spider. His name's Spider-Ham. That's his superhero name. And like they just have all these really cool different versions of Spider-Man, and they're fighting these vampire family called the Inheritors. And they're a really powerful family, and they're like gonna be wrecking havoc. And but this issue here, number 3, it's starting to get to be crunch time when they're gonna really start be fighting them. And they even do at the end. I don't want to give too many spoilers so you can enjoy it for yourself, but it's really good. If you're not getting the Spider-Geddon event and the tie-ins, I really recommend you should. This is good reading. Spider books are always usually pretty good, so I really recommend you get this. It's really good. Well, that was my comics today. So this is my first video on the channel, and really what I wanted to do was start a channel to follow my pop culture journey. Like I'm going to be showing you guys videos about what I like, just to give you a rundown of how my channel is going to be, is basically Wednesdays I get my new comics. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read them throughout the day, and then at the end of the day, Wednesday nights to Thursday mornings, I'm going to post a weekly video of the comics that I had bought that week. And then I want to try to do at least 2 videos a week. The second one will probably be Saturday evening or Saturday night, and that'll be if I see a movie, or that's one of my days off, so I do a lot of shopping for my collections, and I look for other graphic novels and other comics that I want to catch up on and stuff. So I want to make 2 videos a week. You can count on at least one. I'm at least going to do a weekly comic book review. But yeah, I also want to do a second one where I can show you me going out to look for items for my collection. And I'll even give you a tour of my bedroom eventually to show you my whole collection and how I do that. But basically I wanted to share my pop culture journey with the world, and that's why I started a YouTube channel. So if you like this video, like, subscribe, share it, please share it. And thank you for watching. My name is Dan. Nice to meet you. Thank you. All right.